stories of your songs. Are you really comfortable sharing your life with your listeners more today than you were in the past?
Oh, I think what's interesting about getting older is you get more honest. I think when you're young, don't have enough wisdom or enough life experience to, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like, I heard Merle Haggard say this one time. He said, "Oh, hell, just go tell the truth. Then you don't have to think about covering your tracks or this or that." He said, "Just own it. Just tell the damn truth and be done with it." And I think it's okay. I think that that music is the most moving when it's real.
Right.
And so that's what I want more than anything. I don't want anybody to be impressed by a record I make, but I want them to be moved by a record I make, by a song I might write or something I might play, or in how I choose to sing. It's uncanny to me, and I'm the only one, I think, that feels this way. I'm sure there's others that do, but every single note that's played and sung is equal, and it matters. And it's, they all are a part of telling that story. And so I go to great lengths to make sure everything has its proper place, and whatever you play doesn't step on what he played. And music is meant to be this really wonderful conversation between musicians. Before the singer ever starts cutting loose and doing what they do, the musicians always lift that singer up to be able to tell that story. So all those things are equally important to me, and I gnash my teeth over every note that goes on.
Is that why it took 2 years to do this album?
I don't think that's really why. There was no real rush. There was no pressure. I keep teasing and saying, the whole time I was working on this, not one person came to my door wondering where it was. And, I think that other things, not that they got in the way, but a bunch of stuff in life just took precedent. Whether it was producing Ashley's record or a Time Jumpers record or whatever I was choosing to do, or being out touring and keeping all the band afloat. And, there's a lot of balls in the air in a career. And so you gotta go get everything solved and everything done. And you can't just go lock yourself away and make the record and never come up for air. And I think with taking my time, a lot of things got to just sit and simmer, and things that you might have settled for had you made this record in a couple of months, I got to take a couple of years. And what I enjoyed a lot about this record was the way I sang. I sang a little bit differently than I might ever have sung on a record before. There was an angst to my singing and an emotion in my singing that was important, that I tried to convey that and improve as a singer. And a lot of that was due to the passing of some great friends. And just the mindset was, here's somebody I used to sing with, Don Sears, great singer that sang in my band for 20 plus years and was the lead singer for the Time Jumpers, the swing band I play with. And she got cancer and passed. And I could tell that as she got sicker and sicker, every time she sang, she was just, everything she had was in every note. It was awesome. Wow. The gift that I was given, sitting next to her and hearing her week by week get weaker and weaker and sicker until she couldn't sing anymore. So that kind of stuff inspires you.
It's the power of music. It's real life.
Yep.
It really is. Has Nancy Jones heard the song about Mr. Jones yet?
I don't think she's heard the record. She's heard the song. I've played her the song and was at a function or two and got to sing it. It's me and a guitar or something like that. And she knows, how much I love that old man. So I know that one's a slam dunk. We're old friends and have been for a long, long time. And I just, I love deep. I love hard, and that's somebody that just, meant the whole wide world to me.
Showed us how to do it. Does it ever get any easier to sing Go Rest High on That Mountain? Is it harder every time you sing it? Because that song means so much to everybody. Everybody can relate to it now.
Yeah. I mean, I really have to go to my own place, when I sing that, because if I get caught up in it, every now and then I'll fall apart. I fell apart at George's memorial trying to sing that song, and part of it was what I was doing and why I was doing it, but part of it was Patty's voice singing with me, and just how much history there has been. There's 33 years of history of me and Patty Loveless singing together. A lot of people don't realize that, but I sang on her first record and her first hit record, which was Timber, back in the mid-'80s, and then she sang on When I Call Your Name a few years later, my first hit record. So great kinship there and a great history, and just that moment was, once again, I couldn't get it out. But that's okay. It kind of, in hindsight, as I looked at that memorial service, everything else was very stoic to that point and very performed. And I was knocked out by how well everybody performed at that memorial. I leaned over to Amy and said, that might have been the best I ever heard those guys. And artist after artist, you were just blown away with how great they did, and then I got up and just completely came unglued.
It was like a movie. It was like a movie.
Yeah, but what it did, it gave the whole room that breath to fall apart, and the okay to fall apart, and everybody did, so it's all good.
A lot of people also remember, you mentioned earlier that you sang harmony vocals on a bunch of Reba hits, but how about Conway Twitty? I remember
all throughout the 80s.
Your voice on Conway stuff as well. I
don't know what the number is anymore, and I'll bet it's probably 700 or 800 artists, maybe more, whose records I've worked on. A lot of people wouldn't realize I'm on a whole lot of hit songs back in the 80s, doing backgrounds and all kinds of stuff, playing guitar and things. That's what I aspired to do as a young musician. I wanted to be one of those session cats,